Okay, Sean, can we have a news part 2?
Welcome guys, and thanks for joining us again on this channel. So today we're going to give you another update on the news and what's happening in the world and how we are heading uncontrollably now, guys, towards World War 3. There's no denying it, there's no getting out of it. We should just accept it and just realise what's coming. So context and the background of what's happening today. Remember, we've still got this build-up of the Belarusians in Belarus, just above Zhytomyr. Any day now, I feel they could shoot down and make that land grab towards Zhytomyr. We've got protests on the Polish border. Those guys of you who've been following our other platform, they'll know. I've been speaking about this and I've been warning about this threat for quite a long time. If you don't know, Poland, there's like one, maybe two places where you can cross over the border from Ukraine into Europe with trains. Now, the Ukrainian train gauge is wider than the European trains. So in Przemysl, where these protests are, there's been, that's one of the places that the trains come in, and then you have to offload the goods onto another train, and that's for distribution around Europe. This protest happened in Poland because of the grain prices. The Ukrainians are flooding the market with cheap grain. The Polish are complaining. And, you know, it seems to me like that all over the world now there is this, I'm not going to say war on farmers, but it seems like the food supply is just being disrupted everywhere now, guys, all right? We've got protests in the UK. We've got obviously the Dutch farmers protest, the French farmers protest. I'm sure in your country, wherever you are, there's, different farming protests. I know in the UK it's now cheaper. Sorry, you get more money in the UK now if you plant flowers in your fields rather than crops, vegetables, potatoes, etc. I do not see how this is helpful to anyone. You know, we need food, it's kind of important. So that is the backdrop to this video, guys, okay? So what we're going to talk about in particular today, we're going to talk about something that's, really interesting, and I tell me what you think of it, guys, okay? So the backdrop to it again, so you've got Medvedev. Let me just look on here, let me just accept this. So we've got the Kremlin's chilling warning to unleash nuclear Armageddon on London if Ukraine lost the war. So this was a couple of days ago. This was on the 18th of February. So in retaliation, in response, Britain thought they would, flex their military might and show their military prowess by test firing 2 missiles from one of their nuclear submarines. Both of them failed. How does this help anyone? So take this from the perspective of the Russian side, guys, okay? So the Russians are threatening us, and in response, we have 2 missiles that drop out of the sky. So that's just going to empower the Russians. It's going to push them forwards. It's going to give them more pace. It's going to give them more confidence, to threaten Britain more. So how does this happen, guys? Okay. So I've said on my other channel quite a lot. Okay. We shouldn't, as the UK, we should not be putting money into the F-35 stealth aircraft. We shouldn't be putting money into aircraft carriers. The money that what we should be spending on is drones, unmanned systems, and drone aircraft carriers. For an absolute fraction of this cost, you can have a drone aircraft carrier, and instead of having fighter pilots, all the latest missiles, all the latest stuff, you literally build the drones inside the drone aircraft carrier. You build them for whatever mission is needed. If they don't come back, fine, you've lost some carbon fiber. It doesn't matter. What we're going to find is when these conflicts really do kick off, we're going to have something, and nobody else is talking about this. We're going to be fighting an asymmetric naval warfare. What do I mean by that? The threats are not going to be coming from adversaries' military. The threat will be coming from civilian vessels that are rigged out with these storage containers that have missiles inside. And it's going to be like fighting an insurgency, but on the sea. It's going to be really difficult. All these aircraft carriers, the massing ships, the frigates, they're going to be pretty useless, especially when these attacks are coming from civilian ports, from civilian vessels, because it's very difficult to counter that. And that's pretty much the state we are in today, guys. Okay. What I'm going to do now, because I know some of you are asking questions in the comments, I'm going to read some of the comments out and I'm going to answer them for you guys. So what have we got? I'm just going to read them from the top. Will China alliance with Russia against NATO and with Iran in the Middle East? So yeah, so the question is, will China? I think yeah. So what somebody's asking there is, will China, Russia, and Iran form an alliance? I think they have already. You know, and what you're going to find as things move further to the crescendo, where everything's just up in flames, you're going to find that Britain and America are going to have this fake diversions. Britain's going to go and focus in Eastern Europe with the Russian threat pushing that way, and then America, potentially Australia and New Zealand, they're going to be dealing with the Chinese threat, the Iranian threat as well. So I feel that's the way things are going to pan out. Would like you to speak a bit more about the items in your showcase. In fact, if you're right, guys, that's for a different channel, okay? That's a different channel. Got my other channel. Raven, I have a metal box, 2 old phones. Is it worth making a Faraday cage? Yes, make a Faraday cage. Why wouldn't you make a Faraday cage? Do it with your kids. Show them how you're making a Faraday cage and what it means. Explain to them who Faraday was. Yes, 100% make a Faraday cage. But get your kids involved. Interesting that your passport's right there. Yeah, I had to use my passport to upload something. Australian Defence Force has been a lot more active with training lately. There's something cooking, not sure. So, what I previously said, you know, the position of Australia with its proximity to China, Australia, I feel, will be involved, you know, when this does happen, if China gets involved, will be involved with the Chinese threat because of its proximity. I feel at the moment China doesn't want to get involved, because what China can do is just sit back, not do anything, and watch all the other sides destroy themselves, spend all their money on munitions that just go bang, and then China can emerge as the world leader without lifting a finger. That's what I think they want to do. Whether they'll get drawn into a conflict, have a go with try and take out Taiwan, I don't know, only time will tell. But the window for them to assault Taiwan is closing. If one NATO country is attacked, then the rest will engage, so it makes no sense to hit the UK. Yes, I agree, but a decapitation strike on, you know, your main adversary would limit their response. So you'd be able. So people think that this, you know, a nuclear war is unwinnable. It's really winnable if you're willing to go big early on and you know, and totally decapitate your opponent so they can't fight back. So you've basically won. It's like an auto win button on a computer game. Something is definitely cooking from South Africa. I would agree with the government. I don't really know much about South Africa, but I will get back to you on that one. History tells us if there's a major conflict in Europe, I'm afraid logically, we the UK will be the first in line for any kind of nuclear attack. We are basically an unsinkable aircraft carrier. Yeah, so, right, that's perfectly right, yeah, we are, where we are in the UK, we live in pretty much a fortress because we're covered in water. It's very hard to get ships and stuff across to the UK because of that water. You know, so yeah, we are basically an unsinkable aircraft carrier and a staging point for Europe, I guess. I asked this on, are we allowed to say TikTok? Yeah, we are. Well, I asked this on, so somebody's asking this on TikTok, will there be an Irish recession? Sorry, buddy, I really apologise for not getting back to you on the other platform. We get so many comments and we get so many, you know, people wanting to talk, we just can't respond to all of them. So will there be an Irish recession? I don't know, but what I do know is that governments all over the world are changing the goalposts to what a recession means. So, you know, every time these reports get published, they've changed what a recession is. And also what they do is they publish a report, and then a couple of days after, they will amend that report. So they publish the report, they'll say, oh, we're doing brilliant, look how much our GDP's increased. And then once everybody's stopped listening to it, they'll say, oh no, actually it needs an amendment, and then they'll amend it right down. So it depends on your country. Lots of countries are changing what a recession actually means, and it's crazy. Will there be conscription in the UK army? I don't think so, but what I think there will be is a mass recruitment drive. I think there'll be, you know, they will have to drive people. They'll want to get people into the military. And don't forget, there will be there's going to be, if and when this happens, it will be called, it's something called, what's it called, national service. So you might have to go and work in a military-ish, a factory that produces something for the military, for the war effort, you know, working in a company that builds something. You know, don't forget the Queen was a powder girl. The late Queen was a powder girl, and she used to pack ammunition for the soldiers. So there's a lot of logistics and a lot of stuff that can happen in the UK, not just fighting. What else have we got? Right, I'd like to hear your views about Antarctica. Apparently Iran have claimed it and want to build a military base there. So, Antarctica. Okay, so Antarctica, guys, it is a huge anomaly why there's nobody looking for oil there, why there's nobody looking for natural resources there. What I will say is, and I've said this before, I think I said this yesterday, and it's, you know, it's quite interesting that David Cameron's down there. Whoever controls the Falkland Islands controls Antarctica, because they control the only entry point into Antarctica. It's a very strange place. We should know. I should probably do a video all about Antarctica, but let me know if you want to do that. What I will say though is, I don't think Iran can stake a claim there. They don't have the resources, they don't have the finances, they don't have the logistics to get down there, and they certainly don't have, like Britain has, the Falkland Islands that's theirs. They can put ships, aircraft carriers, whatever they want off the coast. If Iran was to do it, Iran would have to have a huge, you know, naval fleet go down there, and it'd just be really, really difficult for the Iranians to do that. Guys, I'm going to leave it there, but please let me know in the comments what you want to see next. Please give us a like and give us a subscribe. Also, guys, I went down a really deep rabbit hole last night all about crop circles. Now, I don't know what you think about crop circles, but I can put crop circles and the lack of physics, the lack of physics basically since Einstein. These sort of things, I want to put these together in a video and show you how these things potentially diverge. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Is that a video you'd like to see? If not, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.